What's going on, geese? Yes, I feel I need coffee too. Copy. Show me the coffee. Oh, I've got it. Not sponsored by Costa yet. Again, do you know what I mean? Any more times? Or Nescaf. It's Sunday Fun Day. It's me, myself, and I. How you doing, Slim? Hope you're well. On this glorious Sunday. Hello to Gav. Bloomin' rubber dinghies, yeah. Bloomin' things. How you doing, Olga? Hope you're well. Old Slim getting all philosophical. Violence can only be concealed by a lie, and the lie can only be maintained by violence. Well, so you're talking about Islam there? Good question. How you doing, mate? On this glorious Sunday. Sunday, fun day. Fun day, Sunday. Make sure I've got everything tickety-boo. Everything tickety-boo. But yes, it's a calling. Yes, it is. You actually get to have your say. What is destroying the UK? Blimey heck. Well, that's a bit of an open question, isn't it? Bearing in mind, you've got knife crime, net zero, the government, Keir Starmer, Sadiq Khan, two-tier policing. You've got blooming everything. There's a lot. So if there's something that you want to say with regards to what is destroying the UK, you can, of course, call in and have your say. If not, obviously, you can say it in the chat. I'll be going through the chat anyway. So, that's not an issue, geese. We'll get your view one way or the other, whether it's up here and you talking or whether it's in the chat and you are typing. What's this? Typing. Doing a spell. Woo! Magical whiz. What's going on, geese? Oh, he's all out. Well, you have to get coffee, mate. Yeah, wifey's just about to go to the shop actually and get coffee and that. Can't be running out of coffee. No way. Oh, I have to be careful with that cup. Keeps it so hot. I take a sip thinking it's been there for a while. It's boiling hot, geese. So, yes. Olga's good. Happy days. Old Jake's in the house. How you doing, Jake? On this glorious Sunday. Yes. Did you notice it was like 2 o'clock start, not 1 o'clock? Yes. Had a lot going on, geese, in the world of family life, grandkids and that. You know what I mean, geese? So, yes. But it's all right. I'm here now. It's 2 o'clock. And I can go through to about 4 o'clock. So we've got a couple of hours of discussions. Or less if no one wants to talk, obviously. How you doing, Lecture Doc? Hope you're well, mate. Living the dream. Sunday fun day. Where's the sun for a Sunday? It's terrible. It's terrible. Yes, it is a call-in show today. Every Sunday is a call-in. And we've got to sort out what we're going to be discussing Tuesday and Thursday night next week as well. There should be some videos about that we can review and see. Got to see what's going on. Yeah, let you guess. Antichrist agenda, yes. There's a lot of that. There's a lot of them. It's just one big one. It's everything. Whatever you think is normal, yep, we're the opposite. So, no, not yesterday. What was yesterday? Saturday? No, not Saturday. Not on a Friday or Saturday. I actually just upload videos, like normal videos. I done one about Katie Hopkins, what she said 2 years ago, which she's right. 2 years ago she was right. Crazy. So, yes, I've done that. I think I think there's 4 shorts from it that get scheduled up and one. And then obviously I've done the video about Advanced No More and a video about Andy Burnham that seems a bit weird. Strange but true. It's strange but true. But yes. But what is destroying the UK, ladies and gents? You have to let me know. So we know for one, right, it has to be the lies of Sadiq Khan with regards to knife crime. Because London's safest it's ever been. No, it's not. And he even tried to make out that, like, to stop the misinformation online because it was going against what he said. but what he said was wrong, and what the misinformation was actually true. That's how devious Labour Party is, and Sadiq Khan, Keir Starmer, and co. So yeah, I think we got a bit of a government problem as well, actually. So I would say there's probably a combination of things that's destroying this country. A combination. So, but yeah. Oh yeah. Why have I done with that? That's a bit stupid, isn't it? I literally just done that, copied it. How on earth? How did that happen? You can catch me on TikTok if you want. Call in your TikTok link. Yeah, when I whiz. Oh, we'll try that. But yeah, call in. There's a TikTok link. It's one of them days. Come on, Wiz, sort your nut out. But yeah, I think what's destroying the UK is a combination of things, isn't it? And it's all joining up to make one big hoo-ha that the UK is completely struggling and the people are fighting back. I mean, the net zero lie, climate change lie, global warming, obviously. Oh, it's a hot day. Yeah, it's summer. Oh, no, it's climate change. I mean, shut up. Like the knife crime lie. There's a lot. Yeah, I can't believe I put my TikTok link. I actually hit copy. Crazy. Yeah, I know, mate. Look, it's when I go Viking. It's like that. That's me going Viking and I have it all shaved back and sides, and then obviously, boom, there it all is. But yeah, I'm a crazy dude with a lot of hair. I've done some really smart thumbnails with me as a wizard as well. They're well cool. Do you want me to show you one, girls, guys and gals? Do you want me to show you one? Let me have a look before I get the guys up. Right, I'll show you. I'll show you some pictures. This is what I've done today. I'm actually quite chuffed with them, actually. So don't go making out they're not good, all right? Otherwise, you and I fall out. But there's a few. It's a shame I can't bring one up, and then I wonder if I could bring up more than one, and then I can just flick through them. That'd be good, wouldn't it? Yeah, image file. Right. You want to see what the wizard's been up to today? Messing about, doing his thing. I'm going to use them as like thumbnails. Make them a bit more personal. You know what it is. What do you think? What do you think? Look. The power of AI. Come on, ladies and gents, get your giggles on. Yeah, and there's this one. Whoa! And one of the I'll give you. I've got a video coming up because everything that's wrong with the planet, well, the country, like what we're talking about today. But I've got my own little video, and it's scripted. It's actually scripted. So I've got to go through it, but this is going to be the thumbnail. You're wrong. What do you reckon, guys? You can tell it's me, can't you? The power. I've done this on Grok. I like that one. So did my missus. Appreciation, eh? It's got to be done. You're never too old for a bit of wizardry. It was so cool. But yeah, come on. It was brilliant. Hey, you doing, Jake? Did you like?
Very amusing picture.
I was like, I wonder if Grok could do anything, and it done it. And I was like, that's actually quite impressive. Thumbnails, isn't it? They look quite cool. Try and get people's attention. Like, it's actually my face. I was like, that's hilarious. Well, it's my photo. Like, with this photo, do this. And it's like, there you go. I was like, wow, that is actually quite good, actually. I was quite impressed. My missus was laughing, but in a good way. But
you should put one up with Win Wilson's face on it as well.
Yeah, I should. I have to get a screenshot of you.
No, at Wilson, I mean. That would be funny.
Yeah, so look, the whiz And when we do a review, I have to get a picture of Owen Wilson and me as a wizard. That'd be funny. And I'll put Jake, and everyone will be like, "What?"
And everyone will see that there is no resemblance.
It's hilarious. The things I do. But I brought you up because I thought I'd do a big reveal because Richard hadn't been up here for a while, and I'm looking, and all I'm looking at is a sofa. He's not actually there. He's done a runner.
He is there. No, he is there. He sent me a message. He's taken an invisibility pill today, so we can't actually see him. He's there. You just can't see him.
Yeah, I suppose he's probably going to be speaking with transparency.
Well, we do like that sort of thing.
It's got to be done. He's probably like, "Oh, I need a drink. Oh, I need something to eat or whatever." I'm like that. Just before I go live, I'm like, "I'm hungry."
Yeah, in fact, I just finished off these. So yes.
Oh.
Yes, these.
Smith's crisps.
Very nice. Remember the overall ones? They were the best.
Oh, mate. Smith's crisps were genius back in the day.
Yeah.
But
they were my favourite.
Pouncy, you hear Lord? Don't put Lord or Sir by that name. Right. No. I'll start again.
Gaylord.
You hear Sadiq? Yeah. The liar, say that everyone in the UK needs a social media ban for everyone as the fake news and making Muslims feel unsafe in the UK and fake news, or better to ban the whole lot. What? No. What's he on about?
Well, perhaps Sir IQ Khan should instead have a look at the reason why Muslims feel unsafe in the UK. Could it possibly be because of their behaviour and things that they have done whilst in this country? Might that possibly be a reason why they could feel unsafe? Or could it be perhaps the victim complex that's been generated through the mainstream media? Doesn't look very much to me that they feel very scared to the amount of things that they're getting away with.
I forgot I was going to email you yesterday because I got one of the messages came up from Peace Power, if you remember, Michael, saying, "Oh, the book's done." So I was like, "Oh, I'll email you about that," but I forgot, and he's messaged here, so it's just as good. So, Fabien socialism is service to the central banking cartel. Do you remember when we?
He has a point about that.
Yes. We need to get him back on if his book's done.
What I think the problem is regarding the question that you have today is that it's human nature is to see patterns and to try and reduce something down to one element. And I don't think that the problems that we have in the UK at the moment are possible to be able to be reduced down to any one particular factor. It's a combination of many factors over many years that have caused a problem that has reached a point where it can no longer continue to be a problem. A bit like, to use an analogy, when it rains, one raindrop doesn't really make that much difference. Piss down all day long really heavily, you get floods, you get problems, you get disasters. That's the point where we're kind of at the minute. The defences against any particular flood are no longer there anymore.
Yep. I've just seen this funny name. Purple Slug.
Purple Slug. I like the sound of that.
I don't know who got it. Someone has to let me know who got the gift. Thanks to OG Purple Slug. OG Purple Slug. That's such a cool name. Thank you very much for your support. Very much appreciate it. It's Sunday, so if anyone's feeling like, they just want to rest and their pockets are a bit heavy and they need to get rid of a bit of change, just super chat, just, Kofi, whatever. But yeah. Guess what, ladies and gents? Guess who it is?
I do.
Hey there, mate.
It's me.
Oh, it's Richard. Hello, Richard.
I was trying to get this working earlier. Where it's not. Oh, it's there. I'm trying to get. Oh, I've been to car boot sale today. I couldn't get it going. I even put my fan on number 3, but I bet you won't be able to hear me. But it's look, and it's a wind thing, and it makes it looks like a squid swimming, don't you think? Or a jellyfish.
It looks very psychedelic.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I bought it for our girl. Might cheer her up a bit. Because no Tardu seems to be able to. Oh, look, you can make it into a crown.
I think that's what it's.
Yeah, with I never got that, but I might open up what's name? What's it called? Go on, tell me. Planet Coaster, because you got these special effects on it and stuff, and it's got all these like sparkles and stuff like that you can add. And like if you do a big green tiled wall, right, and put the camera in the right place and capture it, right, then that'll green screen. So if you can send me a video of you doing something like this, right, as if you do it, obviously not with this one, as you know, like you're doing some kind of magical spell, right? I can correspond sparks coming out your fingers as a video clip, yeah. So
yeah,
so you can green screen yourself onto that, and that looks amazing. Yeah, thank you. Big hand for me. Why not? Yeah, I've done it before with. I did it once before with a spider, and it looked really good.
Oh,
don't work very well with smoke though.
Oh,
don't work very well.
Is there? I thought there was a Muslim in chat then.
Is there?
Oh, no.
Oh right, yeah.
You sure?
Yeah. Yes, super. It sounded.
I don't get out much.
Yeah.
Everyone, just being a muppet. Right, where was I? Let me read this. Michael's in the back end, but his camera's not on or anything. It's all gone weird, so I'm just keeping an eye on him. But people's lockdown is the only way. You can't. Well, people's lockdown. Hello. You can't vote or fight your way out. Voting is too easy to rig. You can't use a corrupt system to fix that same corrupt system. Well.
Well,
there's probably a bit of truth in that, actually.
Well, yeah, voting is easy to rig. We've seen that happen here with block voting. We saw it in the States with postal voting. But saying that we can't use a corrupt system to fix a corrupt system is part of the problem, because what system is there to use? How do you get rid of the system that we currently have in place? So it's a statement to make, but it doesn't really help anything.
Yeah. I'm glad they enjoyed my pictures.
I'll choose one at random. You can't see that, can you? Hold on, I'll choose one at random, see what happens. What we got? No.
That's good. How you doing, Lady Jane?
Fart sounds up, would you believe? And they actually ripped all the MP3 files off it, so I've even got them on my computer and all. There are 100 different fart sounds.
But yeah, let me fly through, catch up with the checks. I'm a bit behind. I think Michael's in the back end. I can see him. He's got the beard going on as well, so we're obviously, and he's got the hair. We might be brothers from a different mother. We got the same hair and beard, mate. I reckon, and we're both super intelligent. So you know, what can I say? Just picking up Michael. You plum. Anyway, how you doing, Waffle? Black faces in the house. Who have I missed? I wanted to make sure I say hi. Oh, there's a shooting in Ohio. Did you hear about that? I thought, oh, my missus said it. And I said, oh, Robert, he's from Ohio. 12 people have been injured or something, or someone's shot dead or something. So I don't know if you guys heard about it in America.
It definitely weren't in Mansfield, Nottinghamshire. We use arrows, you see. Robin Hood.
Oh my God! You had someone from Labour at your door. Oh my word! They're as bad as the. Is it not Mormons? Is it? Is it Jehovah's Witnesses?
Oh yes, the
Jesus.
Jehovah's Witness.
Right. Oh, Helen's in the house. I'm just going through to see who I haven't mentioned because I want to make sure I mention you all. And I'll bring Michael up. He's waiting patiently, and I'll try to.
So Agger's being charged over £2,000, even though she's on sick. She's being charged over £2,000 a year for her poll tax. So I went down to council with her the other day, and I asked him, and I says, can you pass me a form, please, for council tax benefits? She said, no, you have to do it online now. You have to do it all online, right? So, I mean, that's not very inclusive, is it? I was going to say to her, I'm an Amish. That's not very inclusive. What are you messing them out at? Yeah. Whether or not, I don't know. But yeah, they're ridiculous. You've got to chuffing do it online. What if I haven't got internet?
I just have to say, Purple Slug, that was so weird because I saw the picture and I thought, oh my, that's Reese's Corner when he was doing the charity cycle to Edinburgh. The picture. So I thought, I wonder if that's someone from Reese's Corner's channel. And it's not. It's actually Reese. It was STB90, so welcome. And if you don't follow Reese's Corner, go follow Reese's Corner. Simple. He does loads of stuff. Keeping it real. Right.
Sounds like an American chocolate, a bit like a Muller yogurt, but it's a Reese's buttercup, whatever they are that they get in America.
Peanut cup.
Yeah.
Right. So we're talking about what's wrong with the UK, what's destroying the UK. We've got Michael in the back end. I'll bring him up. Are you ready, Michael? Are you ready to come up? Yep. We've got the thumbs up. Happy days. Long time no see, sir. How are you?
You're muted, Michael.
Yeah, very well. Thank you very much. So I've been off the radar for a while. So yeah, I've finished my book. I've just got someone helping me do the formatting, but that should be done this week. And so it'll be going to the printers, hopefully by the end of the week.
Yeah, well, a round of applause for that, mate. Writing a book, that's not easy.
Yeah, hopefully, I hope it'll be helpful. I mean, it's really, I guess it's founded on love, truth, and better ideas for all nations of the world. And that's it, really. There's no hate in there. And but it's reasonable. We got to reason our way through this, but also understand how do we get here. And I mean, you could go back 4,500 years, but if you look into how the international money power got started, so I write different chapters on these things. But right now you've got to go back to in more recent history. George Orwell wrote his book about them, 1984, which was really about 1884, which was when the Fabien Society was created. And that's key to understand. And who does the Fabien Society serve? Who do they primarily serve? And so,
is there a copy out that's in Islamist literature? Is there a copy out, to get the message through to them?
Yeah, well, it's going to be published in a number of languages, and so.
Well, hopefully they might pick it up and take leaves out that book and stop messing about and saying you need to believe in our religion rather than anybody else's.
Well, our religion, I don't know what religion you're talking about, but there's
Islamist, the radicals. Not talking about Islam, I'm talking about the radical Islamists.
Well, they all
need to get on board. Well, like 5 pillars and stuff like that. They're idiots.
Well, no, they're fellow human beings. And if you look at they came out of the original Abrahamic faith, as did rabbinical Judaism and Christianity and Islam. Their source is the original Abrahamic faith. And if you study the Hebrew prophets, particularly Jeremiah and Isaiah, all they were doing was to try and get their own people to come back to the original Abrahamic faith. And people like the prophet Isaiah, he was sawn in half by his own people. Jeremiah was stoned to death for literally just.
They're still been doing that even nowadays.
Wiz, can we establish a topic here?
Well, the original Abrahamic faith was meant for everybody. The original Abrahamic faith.
They've translated it in a different way, haven't they? Go on, Jake.
I can't hear.
It's a bit like having your head in a washing machine at the moment, because there's no clear topic about what we're discussing here. It came in, I was going to ask Michael what the Fabien Society was and what that meant, because he was talking about that, and I thought that was important, but I don't know if everyone in the chat will understand who the Fabians are and where they come from and all that sort of thing. But then we suddenly go about Islam, and I don't understand the correlation between the two.
Well, it's because the Fabien Society, when they were formed in 1884 and in North London, when they got together that night, they said that they would destroy the family. Trotsky didn't like them for this reason, that they said they would destroy the family, the nation, and the religion, but they would do it incrementally over decades and generations in order to bring about a one world order socialist dictatorship. And if you read Kissinger's last book, no, I haven't finished yet. If you read,
before you tell us that, can you tell us who they are? Before you tell us what the manifesto is, can you tell us who they actually are and what they want?
Well, they're socialists, and as Vladimir Lenin said, socialism is communism with the brakes on.
Where do they actually come from? Who is actually involved in this group?
Well, they've got a website and they're perfectly open and honest about it. What they're trying to do and stuff.
Just go on their website. So and a
very good in 1848, did they?
1884.
No, they actually brought out. They obviously had to bring out like.
So I'm going to establish who these people actually are, where they come from in society, what their actual aims are, and how they came together as a society. I think that is important at the minute before we establish what they actually believe in. Because at the moment they're just getting out of
There were lots of them. So, but they're alive and kicking today, and of course that's what's. They created all your international institutions.
But the people today are not the same people, because obviously they have to be ridiculously old. If we talk about the people at the beginning, who were they? Where did they come from? And how did they get together as a group?
Well, I think let's just talk about what's happening now. I think that's more important.
Well, I think it's really important to establish the historical context.
There is, you could get a magazine about it or whatever. And it was actually picked up by what's his name, who did 1984, George Orwell. That was picked up by him, and then he made a movie on it, which was 1984, right? And this is how the Fabien Society see life needing to be. Yeah, there was a famous gentleman, I've forgotten his name, very well spoken. What was his name? I can't remember. But it's all over internet. You can see him, saying, I want people to be judged every 6 years to see whether or not they are a credit to society. If they are not, I wish to get rid of that person. You know what I mean? It's like that. I can't remember his name. Michael might remember his name.
But where did these people come from in society? What were their roles? What were their functions?
It was just like a cult thing that emerged, but it's very, very alive and kicking at the moment. In fact, Sadiq Khan.
But I'm not talking about now. I mean back then.
Oh, just a cult.
Like were they businessmen, Christians, Jewish people?
Yeah, all of them. They all just come together and made this idea up, and then they started meeting
out of nothing.
A bit like Davos. Yeah, a bit like Davos.
In what way is it a bit like Davos?
Well, Davos have a yearly meeting, don't they? Well, it was similar to that. So they'd have a meeting every now and again and come up with all these ideas that they wanted to do, of which is, stipulated within 1984 by George Orwell. which is and if you look at it,
when did Karl Marx publish his Communist Manifesto? What year?
I don't know.
Oh,
Jake?
It is a communist. It is a communist call.
1848, I think.
So around then. Yeah.
So obviously this was this caught on. You know, it was an attractive idea for some people, but the English came up or England came up with Fabian socialism, and Trotsky didn't like them because they were trying to do it incrementally over decades and generations, whereas he wanted.
That's a good point, Michael. That's a really good point, but this is why I keep asking questions today. I think a lot of people won't understand what Trotskyism means. And also, they won't understand what feminism means either. So if we can establish, first of all, we've established there was a group of people, but we don't know who they were. They formed a society where I'm assuming they wanted to improve society. And so they came up with their version of what an ideal society would be. Would that be correct?
Yes.
Okay. So what sort of things did the Fabian Society believe in at their inception?
Well, their idea of they obviously wanted to get rid of the nation state, or the traditional nation state. And yeah, so I mean, anyone who's listening, I would just do some research on the Fabian Society. I think Dr. John Coleman's work is very good. It's accessible. But there's many books on the Fabian Society. There's all sorts of.
So the Fabian Society founders: Frank Podmore, Edward R. Pease, Hubert Bland, and Edith Nesbit.
But the thing is,
they're all in black and white films, so
anyone can sit there and Google books about the Fabian Society. We don't want to know the names of the books. What would be more helpful is to tell us what the books are about.
Well, we're trying to. There's only so much time, and I've got children, so there's only so much time I can spend on this. And so
that's where your skill as an orator comes in, Michael.
Well,
it's a big thing, mate. It's a big thing.
We were talking about what's ruining Britain today. I think that was the main focus.
Yeah,
so,
and
that's what we were talking about. Yes, and that's why I wondered where the Fabian Society comes.
Well, the destruction of religion and the nation and the family.
If you look at how society is going,
you're seeing the end result. You just look at your society now.
Yeah, look how society is going, and then you'll see different, all sorts of correlations. It's like a big jigsaw puzzle that's being pieced together. And of course, their emblem was a wolf in sheep's clothing, and now it is a turtle or a tortoise. So slowly, catchy monkey. You know what I mean? Slowly, and you can see all these bits of jigsaw puzzle all making sense to the Fabian Society, which has got a lot of government influence, which is why Sadiq Khan is also a named patron member.
Well, this is where your DEI comes. This is where your DEI comes from. But it's all about.
Okay, whereabouts in Fabian Society does it have DEI specifically?
Well, it's about whatever it takes to destroy the nation.
Yeah.
Where in the Fabian materials does it specifically mention DEI? Because that's what you both just said.
Well, this is where it's taken them this long. It's not. You can use any phrase you wish. The key is to destroy the nation, and destroy the religion, and destroy the family. So that's all that's going on. But I think you're nitpicking, and people only have so much time. You obviously have a lot of time on your hands, Jake.
Michael, I'm trying to establish a fact here. A simple fact is that you're making claims that DEI comes from Fabian Society. I'm simply asking where in the Fabian.
Well, of course they didn't have DEI back in 1884, but
how can we say that there's a direct?
It's a contemporary
by looking at the same
manifestation.
Just one at a time, guys. One at a time. I'm getting up. My brain's going left, right, and centre here. So, Jake, if you want to ask Michael a question, and then Michael, if you could answer it, and then we'll go from there. And then we need to jump to today. Like we say, the topic is what is destroying the UK today. So, Jake, if you want to ask your question to Michael, answer it, and then we'll get on with today.
Let's get on with today. Yeah.
What I'm asking is, if you're saying that DEI is the result of Fabian Society, where actually in their manifesto does it say DEI specifically? Because that is what both you and Richard just claimed.
Well, go onto their current website. They encourage DEI.
Yeah, I'm asking you. I'm not asking for a website.
I'm just saying it's one of the policies. That's how you effectively destroy a nation, with diversity, equity, and inclusion. Because
one of their policies is diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Look at the streets of your own country.
Yes.
Obviously, diversity, equity, and inclusion doesn't work.
The policy.
The whole point of it's the whole point of creating DEI is to get it to the next level. Is to create a strategy of tension and to create chaos in order to get it to the next level. And if you read Kissinger's last book, he talks about how that one world order. No, don't cut me off, please. And
you haven't answered the question.
But if I'm answering the question, if you just listen carefully, that one world order socialist dictatorship will be held together, according to Kissinger, by a corporate technocracy, which is Silicon Valley, and that's technocracy.
Nothing to do with what we're talking about. What I asked you is,
it's all connected.
Where in the materials does it say that DEI is a specific policy, which is what you just mentioned? Hang on, because you made this claim. So therefore, if it's in their policy, I can go and look it up, and I can see you're right. Otherwise, you're just making a claim. So I'm just trying to
go and look it up and find out where DEI comes from.
DEI is actually the acronym of what's happening. Is the acronym of what's happening within society has become the acronym DEI. But if you look at how the Fabien Society are trying to change society, right, then you will see the correlation between DEI agendas and the Fabien Society's agendas. Because
that's not correct. What you're seeing a correlation between Fabians and DEI. There isn't one because it's not in their specific policies. I'm trying to get.
So what are their policies, Jake?
It's not just going to be called DEI, is it? In the Fabien Society's rulebook, because that would never
said it was called.
But it's. Hey.
You said it would say DEI in their policy.
No, it is DEI from the society that we're in at the moment. When you look at it, right, and then you look at the Fabien Society's agendas and stuff like that, you will see that correlates to DEI.
How?
Well, everything, like, weaken the male chuffing testosterone structure and stuff like that. You'll see that it's also in the to get a weaker society, that whereby people won't, moan about stuff. Yeah?
Does it actually say that specifically in those words?
Kind of, yeah. Yeah, it's to weaken the male, to get rid of the testosterone, the male, all that. Yeah. So you've got.
It actually says that's what we should do to destroy the UK.
It's basically written by the communists, the Marxists and stuff. Well, the communists, I believe. Yeah.
Which ones?
It's basically them trying to take over from within.
But which ones?
What do you mean, which ones?
Which communist
ideology? Communist ideology. You've got to weaken the testosterone out of the gene pool and stuff, which they're managing to do.
Communist ideology says that we should weaken the gene pool.
Yeah. No. The testosterone genes out of people.
I think I'll go. So this is it's not a good use of my time. But no worries. I'd be happy to have a chat with you, Wizard. I'm not sure what Dr. Jake's up to. And Dr. Jake,
trying to do is establish the basis of the discussion.
Dr. Jake, do you have children?
It's none of your business.
Well, you more than likely don't. And so that
was that's an assumption.
My sense is you don't. Is so that was the big thing. Is to destroy the family. Is to promote liberalism. Yeah. And so what's happening, obviously, and has been going on for a number of generations, is the European population has been embracing all the joys of liberalism, and hasn't been forming families. And the families that have been formed have been very much under attack. Liberal ideology and feminism that has done great harm to men and women. And so this is all part of kind of a Fabian strategy to destroy a nation. And now you're literally being displaced and replaced. So by law, you're being genocided. And what can you do about it? I don't think you can do anything about it until we start having a sensible debate about solutions, not just for the sake of the UK, but for all nations of the world, because all nations of the world are under the umbrella of this same web, which is the international money power. And so all these things are coordinated. And I spent 16 years of my life in and out of war, but all wars are engineered. And whether it be a civil war or a shooting war between nations, all these things are engineered. And there's an esoteric aspect behind it, but it's certainly about the creation of debt. It's about debt farming and the management of debt. So all nations are living under this weight. And so just having an honest conversation about, well, what does the international money power truly think about the rest of humanity? But I think a lot of it is coming to a head, and of course the so-called elites know this, is because we've had this 300-year experiment with industrialization, and it's failed. And since the 1920s, geological economists have been talking about this. So we can't keep this going, and that's what's happening. So they want to get, and so this corporate technocracy that which is Silicon Valley. That is going to hold this Fabian socialist dream of this one world order socialist dictatorship together. That's why they want to bring in complete control, where everyone with digital ID and with social credit scores and digital money, and all this stuff is being rolled out in China. I lived in Silicon Valley for 7 years, so everything that's rolled out in China was figured out in Google. And Silicon Valley is really just a private contractor for the intelligence community. And all the intelligence communities of the world are actually coordinated. And so, I've worked in that world. And who do the state doesn't serve, the state doesn't serve the people of the country. They primarily serve the central banks. And the intelligence community primarily serves the central banks. It doesn't serve the nation, whether it be CIA or MI5, MI6. They don't serve the people. They don't serve the English, Irish, Scottish, and Welsh people of the archipelago of these islands. And so, but that web of control is global. So there's no alternative international money power. There's only one, and it seems, as much as the historical record can tell, that it maybe started about 4,500 years ago. And this is well known in academia, but academia, the political class, and mainstream media are really just the propaganda wing of the central banks. And so there's many things in history that are not told truthfully in academia, and mainstream media just keeps the lie going. I've worked in mainstream media as well, and it's it's without a doubt, you can study this. It's quite safe to say that all wars are bankers' wars, and a lot of I've spoken to 4-star generals in America, and they know that. So and until you get a grip of the international money power and its grip on mainstream media and the academy and the political class. I've worked for politicians. I worked for a US congressman and a presidential candidate. And so, I've done surveillance and I've worked for politicians. I've done surveillance on them as a private military contractor, and I've worked for them. And as far as I can tell, I'd say there may be some genuine, but the vast majority of politicians are either members of secret societies, they're devout socialist communists, they're shameless opportunists, or they're compromised assets of the intelligence community. And that pretty much sums them all up. And, and I've met quite a few of them. So, we're living in interesting times, but it's, but we can't get out of this unless we think of all nations of the world, because all nations of the world are under this death grip, and so it's not just about, you know, the English, the Irish, the Scottish, and Welsh. We want our nations back. Well, the culture of our nations is primarily just about shopping and fornication. I mean, we don't have a high culture anymore, but we've been socially engineered away from the pursuit of excellence and the pursuit of a high culture into the elevation of mediocrity, which is how you destroy a nation. If you elevate mediocrity, that's what you get. You get a mediocre nation that is unable to really defend itself. It's not a nation anymore. It's just slowly collapsing. And then when you bring in other cultures and other races and mix it all together, the only way to hold it together will be a corporate technocracy, which is where you'll get your social credit score from. So so no one's stopping this. But I think we just have to come up with maybe another vision and another plan, which is why I wrote my book. And it's not set in stone. It's just a template as an idea, with 25 points and a bunch of other chapters added on. And I think if you read Aristotle's Politics, I think that's an important read for everyone. That's like 2,500 years ago. And when you don't have a genuine aristocracy, which we don't have a genuine aristocracy in England, Wales, Scotland, or Ireland, what you end up with is an oligarchy. So what we have is an oligarchy, and a genuine aristocracy is there for the people, but also for the government, whether it be a monarchy or a democracy or a republic, whatever. You need an aristocracy. My preference with a non-hereditary aristocracy, because the aristocracy, you have a government, whatever form of government it is, and then you have the people, but the neck is the aristocracy. They keep the leadership there primarily to serve the people, but we don't have that, and we haven't had that for centuries. And so, when you don't have a genuine aristocracy that serves the people and keeps the leadership on point and uncorrupted, you end up with oligarchy. And Aristotle was writing about this 2,500 years ago. So you don't have a genuine democracy at all. You have an oligarchy, and that's not good. And so, you know, I'm a monarchist myself, but you know, that's where.
Well, he's gone. He's Muslim now, isn't he? May as well just admit that, really.
Yeah, but whoever they are, I mean, and once again, Islam is, and that's why I go back to the original Abrahamic faith. If you study it, it was for all nations of the world. The original Abrahamic faith was for everybody, and they just wanted one nation to be a light unto the world. And it was a beautiful thing. But then it got corrupted by rabbinical Judaism and then Christian. You know, this man Yeshua, Jesus, he was definitely not trying to start a new religion at all. But then a new religion got created in his name, Christianity, and then Islam came along. But they're all not the original Abrahamic faith. And so, you know, I would say the Nazarene Israelites, which were the people that walked with Yeshua, walked with Jesus. And they were certainly onto something, because he said, like, the most important, the 10 words or the 10 commandments of the original Abrahamic faith. He said that, like, the most important are to love God and to love your neighbor. So to love your creator. And we've been, you know, theoretical physics has proven God in a way, you could say. And that's it. So it's awesome. Theoretical physics would call it intelligent design. If you're in theoretical physics, you know, I was in and out of Stanford University for 4 years when I lived in Palo Alto in Silicon Valley, and it's well known that intelligent design, you know, we have been created. It's awesome, really. And if you're in theoretical physics and you say God, then you get less funding. But if you look at the Nobel Prize winners in all disciplines, the vast majority of those who've received that prize in physics, more so than any other discipline, believe in God. And so, you know, I think we should be in awe of creation. And of course, the second thing that Yeshua or Jesus insisted upon is that we love our neighbor, no matter where they're from. And it's obviously if you want a high trusting low crime society, you don't want a multicultural, multi-religious, multi-degeneracy society. It doesn't work. But that kind of society creates a low trust, high crime society, which is perfect for that Hegelian dialectic, problem, reaction, solution, which is what these Fabians want. They want the next level. They want that high crime, low trust society. So you eventually have this strategy of tension, you eventually have chaos, and the only way to fix it is to bring in your control grid with
Michael.
And that's all that's going on.
That's what Islam is doing.
Well, that's what it's supposed to do. But Islam was brought here. Islam was brought into Europe by Fabian socialists. They didn't invade Europe at all. But now that they're here, they'll outbreed you and they'll outfight you. And they were brought here by design. They've been a broom ever since they were created. And that broom has served to sweep through Christendom. All we have to figure out is, who's pushing the broom? And it certainly isn't.
Where does it say about Islam, Michael? Where's the evidence for them wanting to put Islam in here?
Well, okay. Just you look at the boats. No one's stopping the boats coming across the channel, and it would be very easy.
That's not what I'm talking about.
All the governments are in on it. So
by design. That's what you claimed.
Because they want to destroy the nation. There's Islam, and Islam cannot integrate with any other society.
It can't be changed, can it?
At all. And Islam.
At least Christian values are able to progress.
You might want to study the hadith.
We're now accepting gays and things like that, into Christian society, and got no problem with that. But Islam can't do that.
Islam's fine. I've spent quite a bit of time in Pakistan, and I had a wonderful time there. But it's it works for them. But then you have to look, well, who created it in Pakistan? So it's it's interesting times. But that's it. I think just keep having children and build strong families, and hopefully it'll all work out. But they don't intend it to work out. They do want this one world order socialist dictatorship. But we also have to look at what geological economists are saying, because
Michael,
there's an awful lot to read, but I've got to get away and to be with my children now, Dr. Jake. So hopefully you'll be able to find time to spend with your children this afternoon.
Why are you being condescending? I've been very decent to you. I was asking you to explain yourself. You've been very rude this afternoon. I'd like to know why.
Well, I haven't been rude at all, but I've just given you a bit of a rant about some interesting things, and hopefully I've hopefully some of it settled in you. But
no, I fell asleep.
Yeah, we should be really talking about today, and I think the wizard who's hosting this, he wants to talk about knife crime and other stuff. So good luck. But all these are just examples of the success of the socialist passion to create a one world order socialist dictatorship. And so I hope it doesn't go that far, and I hope that common sense will come in so that we can actually protect all nations of the world. Now, I spent a lot of time in Africa, so it's tragic that there's not one nation in Africa that's really governed by the good, wise, and virtuous people of Africa, and they're just puppets for the central banking system, and that's it. And every African I know,
Michael,
and I know quite a few,
making claims without proof. That's the issue that I have. There's lots of claims, but there's no proof behind any of it. It's all just they're doing this. You don't ever say who they are, what they actually want to do, and that's what I've been trying to establish. That's why I let you speak for half an hour and fell asleep whilst doing it because it was so boring, to see if you could answer that question, and you didn't. And that's my issue.
Well, you should have stayed awake.
Because you spoke for a long time, Michael. So just wait for a second.
But I will stay awake whilst you're talking.
Wait for a second, Michael. I was very patient with you. What I would like to establish is, if you're going to talk about these things affecting today, then you've got to tell us where they came from, what they actually stand for, before you tell us that it's happening today. then you have to provide evidence that shows that they actually wanted to do this. Otherwise, all you're doing is you're saying they wanted to do this, they wanted to do that. Because this is coming in, that proves that what they did is right. And it is, you're just making claims. And that's fine if that's what you want to do. But I would suggest in a book, you should try and make sure that you've got some evidence in there.
Jake,
And also, I don't appreciate condescending tone and patronising comments that you made, because I was very respectful to you until just now.
Right, okay, so I found a documentary and it's 1 hour and 1 minute long, okay, on YouTube. I shall post the link. I've just done it in chat, but I'll also post the link after the stream has ended, so everybody can go and have a look, including you, Jake, right? It's very interesting, okay, and that explains the foundations of the Fabien Society and how it's affecting Britain at the moment, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, good lad, marvellous.
And hopefully you won't fall asleep while washing it, Jake.
No, it'd be quite good documentary.
Excuse me, I have narcolepsy.
Yeah. Try and stay awake.
Yeah. What you just said is out of order. Narcolepsy.
Yeah. Well, make sure you have a couple of days.
So good. Really out of order. You need to apologise for that.
You said you fell asleep when I was talking.
Yes, I have narcolepsy. Now apologise for being rude.
Don't worry, Dr.
Would
Jake.
you criticise someone with no legs for not walking?
Your children are missing you. Mine certainly are.
Jake.
So look, the wizard, bless your heart, and Richard.
I'm actually being serious. You were out of order.
Right.
Just said.
It's all like,
Yes,
Jake, do you need a spliff today?
After you watch this documentary, I think you can see why it's so deep and why it's impossible, really, to not. You can't really sum it up just by skimming over it. You've got to have a look, and then you'll be able
to reduce.
Need to get back to knife crime and the government and everything else, and the net zero.
I'm in agreement with Michael that the Fabien Society has got a big hold on what problems we've got in England today and the rest of the world, right? I mean, they don't have one in Islam, in Muslim countries, but it is a global thing because they're able to control stuff.
I think if you believe that, then you're the person that would have fallen for Advanced UK.
Well, I'm not an advanced. Look at my headline. I'm not an advanced shill. So
no, I know you're not. But what I mean is that you believe something.
And that's very offensive.
I must get back to my children. Have a wonderful afternoon.
No worries, mate.
Have a nice time bumming them, Michael.
I'll let you know when my book's in print, Wizard. And thanks, Richard.
Yeah, email me.
Email
me.
Yep.
I'll do my best.
Yeah, brilliant.
Michael.
Peace be with you.
Cheers for that, mate. Yep.
Thank you, Michael.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Had my haircut. Look, nobody's commented. Nobody said, Richard, look how chuffing nice and lovely you look.
I just don't. There's one in the comments. Big love, always big love. 4053. Keeps mouthing off in here all the time. If you want to be critical, come on stage and have a discussion. Don't sit there mouthing off in the chat.
You're proper on. What have you been doing? Watching wrestling matches on Chuffing WWF or something?
Oh, what I don't like is people who make claims that there's nothing to back it up with.
I don't know.
I get what Michael's saying, but the questions Jake asks are valid. But I understand why people in the chat were saying, "Oh, let him speak." But
you can't really.
If he goes on too far, it'll pass the moment, and then Jake could say, "Oh yeah, but you said that," and it'd be like 10 minutes ago, so it wouldn't even be relevant. So just pop in and say, "Oh yeah, but actually you're saying this, but what do you mean by that?" At that time is valid. I get that, because if I was talking and I was saying whatever along the lines of say what Michael was saying, and then someone stopped me and said, "Oh, but what do you mean by that?" I'll be like, "Oh, okay, right, let me pull it back." Blah blah blah, and I would explain myself. I don't get why the animosity suddenly blew up at there, but I get why Jake asked the questions, and I understand the questions he asked, and I understand what Michael was saying. But Michael being the one in knowledge, should have been willing to say, my apologies, what was the question? Let me answer that. Right, let me move on. And then what Michael's saying as a whole will make more sense. And some of the questions that Jake asks helps me understand, because some of what Michael says, due to my education, does go a bit over my head. So
yes,
I don't see what the issue was.
I've got a question for you that, to help with this, because that is what I was doing. I was trying to get someone to pin them down to what their beliefs actually are. Now, in this case, Wiz, had you heard of the Fabien Society beforehand?
Yeah, we are.
Literally,
well, I
not
whether or not
I've heard people mention. Yeah, I've heard people mention Fabien Society, but I don't know what it is. Never known what it is, and I literally.
Excuse me, boys. Right, you can't exactly sum up the Fabien Society just in one live stream. You can't do that. It's impossible. It's too big.
You can summarize anything in any time.
Yeah, well, he kind of did summarize it. He did use rather large words that even went over my head.
But Richard, you're distracting from the point here, which is what Michael was doing. I'm trying to get with Wiz here to establish what the Fabians are. I'll come back to that in a minute. So, Wiz, you'd heard of them, but you didn't really know what they were. Do you know what they are now?
Not really. I looked up while he was talking, so I actually looked it up for it to say it was like, the lefties coming up with something.
Yeah.
I mean, as a whole, if someone said, for 5 points, answer this question, I'd probably get it wrong, because I still don't have a full understanding. And then while he was talking, I looked up the DEI, and it said the Fabien Society does not have a formal DEI policy, but its foundational rules and objectives promote principles consistent with diversity and inclusion within the context of socialism and democratic participation. Now, even that, for my brain, I'm taking in too much.
It's basically,
I'll do it in 2 sentences.
Go on then.
The Fabien Society was founded on socialist principles, and it was based around the idea that everybody deserves equality. And it was very influential in forming the Labour Party around the time of the 1920s. It had to get them to a position where they went from nothing into being a leading force in government. Then, after World War II, it was instrumental in bringing the welfare system, and in particular the NHS. Then it influenced war off, and then it came back in again around the late 90s, because it came in through the human rights lawyers who tended to be influenced by it. And that's what brings us up to where we are today.
Where did you get all that from? How do you know Gordon Brown was something? You Googled it, didn't you? I weren't looking.
No. I just know how to summarize information because I've done it a lot of time over years. And this is what I was trying to get Michael to do.
Well, that was very specific to say
no
you
point
off your own head.
Bombard people with fact after fact after fact after fact, or opinion and opinion and opinion after opinion. You've got to ground it in a way that people understand. So if I were to say to Wiz now, do you know what the Fabien Society is now, Wiz?
I have a better understanding, but even after what you said and having a better understanding, I do need to look it up myself, don't I? In my own. But your description,
So would you have enough information at the minute then in order to be able to talk about, for example, if I were to say about the impact that they were having today, do you think you have enough information now to understand how they'd be able to do that?
Yes.
Right. In that case, then you've just proved my point. That is what I wanted Michael to establish. He told us what they're doing today. That was it. Very simple.
And
that's why you're a teacher and none of us were.
You're trained in this kind of stuff, so that's an unfair advantage for a start. All I can say is just it's a feminized society, because that's just But I'm right. I mean, look at these people that have got into Navy and stuff like that, and they've got in when there were only one teacher there, and this teacher watched them climb these ropes, and then this was a news story yesterday on something, right? And then they ticked a box saying yes, they've done that, right? There were only that one person there, a physical education person, who said, yeah, they've done that. You know what I mean? Box ticking. So and like then they're and they're useless. in battle because they can't jump and climb ropes and stuff, just as I won't be able to. But yeah, and stuff like that. So it's to weaken us from within. Yeah. And they've got a lot of power.
Who is this prick here?
Sorry?
Who is this? They've obviously got their ants in their pants today.
Oh, chat.
Someone in the chat has. Some troll in the chat.
But thing is, though, there's no point someone talking for half an hour if he said something in the first 3 minutes that you don't understand. It to me that doesn't make sense. I'm like, hang on, I don't know what you're talking about. No, you lost me.
And that's what I was trying to get him to do, is to slow it down, to say, establish the boundary and let him talk. But he doesn't ever stop talking for you to then be able to interject and say, hang on a minute, I don't understand that. Can we go back and explain a bit more about that?
Yeah.
I mean, someone's just put the comment there, the Fabien coat of arms is a wolf wrapped in sheepskin, says everything. But does say everything, or are you just interpreting it in that particular way?
No, it is the thing. If you look at it, you
Back
can't.
Their symbol now, though. Their symbol now is different.
Yeah, it's a tortoise. Yeah, slowly, so as people don't notice what's going on.
Because it's very easy to say, okay, people wanted to destroy society. That's a very broad range of things that it could incorporate. Therefore, you could say anything like DEI and say that that's part of the plan.
Yeah,
without there being
you were looking for proof of that, but there isn't really any proof of that. That's just the acronym that we've got now.
If there isn't any proof, then it's not a point, is it?
No, because that's just the acronym that we've got it now. Yeah, DEI, when you look at it. But then when you look at the structure of DEI and what it does, and then you look at the Fabien Society and what they do, you can see that matches DEI principles. Do you get me?
You can't, because DEI comes from America. DEI comes from the civil rights movement. It comes from the fact that black people are discriminated against. So
there are Fabien societies in America.
Oh, Richard, hang on, just one at a time, Richard. One at a time. So Derek Bell in the 70s realised that there was this discrepancy between blacks and whites in the workplace. So he decided to use law as a way to establish this equality between two different races. And he did that successfully, and that then became incorporated into a wider structure, such as government. And one of the ideas that they had was DEI, the purpose of which was to give black people an opportunity, to give them a helping hand for what they'd been left behind in the past, but it was only ever meant to be a temporary measure. So it can't have been there to destroy society, because it was only ever to be temporary. That framework that from American discrimination has then been imported over here as DEI, Tony Blair's government, but the framework doesn't match our particular society because we never had racial discrimination here. So the thing they can use here as racism is the Stephen Lawrence case and claim we have systemic racism. And that the DEI has now itself become a systemic problem. So
there you go.
It doesn't come from Fabianism at all. Fabian, people might support it today, but that doesn't mean that they invented it.
But to collapse a society, you need something like DEI in force. And that's exactly what the Fabien Society want to do, collapse society. So as they're able to have a communist government.
No, I get that, but you haven't got there is the actual, you've got a claim and then you've got an end point. You haven't got the bit in the middle that links them, the evidence.
Because it's moving at the speed of a tortoise. Not yet, but it soon will be.
That's not how it works, Richard.
Well, that's not what I did.
But
they're just doing it slowly, mate, so you don't notice, which is exactly what's happened with you. You haven't noticed. Just look at it. Just have a look at it. I shall post the link after this stream. Right, make sure you do, because there'll be questions on it next Sunday when I'm off, not seeing I get. All right.
Right. Okay. Take this point here. This is what I'm getting at. So the Act of Settlement, never heard, so I don't know anything about it. So the Act of Settlement was taken away by Clement Attlee, a Fabian. Okay, the fact that he is a Fabian and that decision is one thing. Is that the same as him being a Fabian and letting that Fabianism influence the decision that he made? Or did he get separate of his belief in Fabianism? If he did connect it with Fabianism, where does it specifically say that? Otherwise, you're just making a claim that you can't substantiate.
Well, it's not going to say Clement, that bloke has to do that particular thing so we can, you know, introduce communism into the country. It's not going to say that, but you've got to look at what his actions were and then see whether or not that correlates to how society is now, you know, trapped, or, you know, our society is functioning. Look at that, and then, you know, I mean, they're not going to. Well, they kind of do tell you what they're going to do. Same as I say, look at that link afterwards.
Is it, if something correlates, does that mean that it caused it?
Yeah. So, you know, if it caused something to happen in society, you might not see it yet, but it will do at some point.
The correlation is causation.
Yeah,
you read that on the screen.
I don't know. I saw a big word inside my head and thought, I'll throw this in here, right? Because I'm not a professionally chuffing, you know, taught bloody conversationalist, if that's the right word, to use in a live stream. I knew 25% of them words I just said out of my mouth then. So, you know, take that into account and then translate it into someone who's not really that educated but knows his stuff. He's not educated, but he's not thick. If you know what I mean.
I think with this chap here, this gentleman, I think he's got the right point, but I think that he's in the wrong direction, and I think most people are looking in the wrong direction as well. You're looking in one place and not seeing something else that's behind it. Almost as if, like, say, Richard, if you look on the screen, Richard is in a box. And as is weird. Richard can only experience things within that particular box. He might not even know that the box above him even exists, because all he knows is what he can see within that box. So that's how we are. We can only see what is within the box that we're in. And what is given to us through that box is information about far-right bankers stirring up hatred and racist knuckle drag. All this information is coming to us to our little box, through these screens, through the algorithm that we're being given. And if you turn it off and walk away from it, none of these things will affect you. So he's right, but he's not addressing where it's coming from.
Yeah, I mean, to say far bankers is just on another level. But thing is that they're the ones standing up for it. They literally say, oh, because they're talking about, say, you know, the fact that Islam's trying to kill everyone and take over the country. Oh, you're hating and you're causing division. Like, no, we're stating the bloody obvious, and no one's racist. Oh, you follow Tommy Robinson. Find one bit where Tommy Robinson.
You're far right. Yeah, he's been listening to too much BBC crap. Yeah. Tony, explain, give your rendition, your translation of far right, please. What do you mean by far right? Because I believe I've seen far right people, and they've normally got Nazi chuffing tattoos on them and stuff like that. Yeah, have we? No, we're not far right.
I'm particularly interested well, I particularly want to know what it is that this person has against masturbators. Because that's something that really you shouldn't be drawing a hatred and stirring up hatred about. If people want to play with themselves, it's up to them. You don't need to be critical to them about it. Pouncing is what I'm getting at here. That Fabian Society, Illuminati, BlackRock, all of these things are real. All of these have influence and have done things that are not particularly beneficial to society, in our opinion. But are they actually directly having that influence, or is it only a minimal influence that they have? That's the difference between a conspiracy theory and critical thinking about these theories.
Just have a look at some of the members. Are you talking about Fabian Society? I missed that bit. Oh, reading.
Any of them.
Yeah,
No,
so if
no.
you look at Fabian's side and then look at the members, I mean, you know, Sadiq Khan, is he not a powerful man? Of course he is. And like, he's actually listed on their front homepage. Yeah, it's basically all the left, you know, all take their ideas from the Fabian Society. When you look into it, and you'll see. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, look at Bobby. Bobby's on here regular. We love Bobby. He's brilliant, isn't he? You know what I mean? And he's what you'd call an integrated Muslim, and he's fine. You know, we haven't got an issue with that yet. People saying that we're far right, then surely we shouldn't like anybody of a different colour, should we? But that's not true.
Dylan's got the right point there. You know, it's easy to put a label on people that suits certain people's narratives. It's absolutely correct. But that works both ways.
Yeah.
If you're going to say that it works for some groups, you've got to say that for all groups.
Yeah.
Oh, Chirac is back under open name.
People like them in 5 Pillars, you know what I mean, who are saying, you know, oh, avoid this gay parade or this pride parade and stuff like this. And they've even written a pamphlet on, how to navigate the pride parade on this June. You know what I mean? What? You know, that's part of our culture and our you know, acceptance of gay people. Yeah, not really the trans. Anyway, you know, the ones that are kicking up a stink about going into ladies' toilets and stuff like that. It's them that we don't agree with, right? Not the ones who have transitioned and are going into ladies' toilets and not throwing up a stink about it. They can just get on with their own lives. Yeah,
I think it's more than that, actually. I think it's about two big. Well, you know, you're right about it being about women. That is absolutely correct, to women's spaces. But I also think it's about forcing people to have to use particular pronouns that they don't even agree with.
And that.
And I think more than that, the most important thing is that it's asking people to accept something that is fundamentally a lie and that is impossible, which is to accept that somebody can actually physically change sex, which is, you just cannot do that.
No, you're XY, you're a guy, you know. If you want to live that lie, then get on with it. You know what I mean? But don't expect us to live that lie along with you. Yeah. No. I mean, if you look at it, then you'll be called she, her. Yeah. This they them crap is rubbish. You know what I mean?
The fact that they are actively disputing that Supreme Court decision at the moment about what a woman actually is tells you how lunatic government actually is when it comes to these beliefs. That they're actually challenging the decision about what a woman is.
Yeah. It's lunacy, that is, yeah. I mean, we know my saying, I've got a big hand and a little hand, that makes me a non-digital, non-binary clock, and I would therefore like to time Olympic sporting events. Can even spin me around. They can't get at me for that. You know, whenever I drop that into a trans debate, right, then they just steer clear of me. They think, oh God, we got a live one here. Yeah, because I was actually born this way, you know what I mean? Therefore, I identify as a non-digital, non-binary clock.
I think what the real problem is that we all have, if we go back to the topic of the debate, is the problem really, it's not about left and right. It's not really even about migration. What it's really about is that there is a system of governance in place that the people have started to understand is doing nothing for them, is actively acting against their interests. People have woken up to it, have had a tip of it. They want change, but they don't know exactly how to enact that change. And I think some people are wanting change too quickly, which would cause too much disturbance. But the change has got to happen. It has to happen.
It's got to be a government that's woken up, like Rupert Lowe. You know what I mean? It's got to be someone like that. I mean, Ben Habib, he's woken up. He understands. You know what I mean? Them two together, I think, will be a force for, you know, to reconcile and restore Britain. And I think that's exactly why they've actually, you know, basically knocked Advance UK on Ed. They've still kept it open just in case.
I would disagree with that.
You do, well, I think
I don't think Ben has any skin in the game whatsoever. I think he's let himself down. I think he's embarrassed himself. I don't think Rupert Lowe's got absolutely no reason whatsoever to take Ben Habib on. And I think that Ben Habib had a go and it didn't work out. He needs to move on and do something else. Reunion. People people online think that there's going to be some reunion. I very much doubt that Rupert Lowe has given it any consideration whatsoever.
Well, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not really that interested in it. I mean, there's no real questions that you can bring up with Rupert Lowe, is there really? You can't really, like we used to be able to do with Advanced UK's College. You can't really do that now. But I've grown accustomed to that. You know what I mean? I don't watch that much YouTube no more, so I'm not so bothered. Just, leave them to it and see what's good, see what goes off. It would have been nice to have had a voice through the college, but I can see that has also got its own problems. I mean, look at Tim Powers. He sent out an email to everybody. Did you get that video message I sent to you, Wiz, about that?
I have no idea.
Yeah, it should have done. Yeah, that's that Tim Powers that I was talking to when I recorded that thing, and then he said,
"Oh yeah."
Yeah. So you know what he's like, kind of, because I sent it to you and all, didn't I? I sent it to Mo and all. So yeah, now he's come out and said, oh, this isn't true about Advanced UK collapsing. It is true. And then we ended up with an email from Ben Habib himself saying, yeah, no, that's not true. Is now we're considering legal action against him because they were a bit of an arse.
From Helen about cautioning firefighters over their political beliefs. That is a good example of an ideology being enforced. That's exactly the sort of thing that we're against. Now, that is quite clear. Where I would draw the line is saying that the Fabien Society are behind that, because there isn't that link to them. And I also agree with what Helen said when she said there are things going on behind the scenes. There are, of course there are. There are always things going on behind the scenes that we don't know about. But what that doesn't mean is that there is a group of people sat around a table who make decisions about the entire world. That's not how things work. There's lots and lots and lots of little committees like that make decisions about the world. And all of those decisions together end up where we are now. No one has actually sat there, whether it was 100 years ago or 100 years ago, and said, here's our plan, this is exactly what we're going to do, because it would be impossible to do that. But they could set out, this is what we like, this is what we want to achieve eventually. That's one thing.
Yeah, but the Fabien Society has got its tentacles in almost every part of Western civilization. So if that's not global, I don't know what is. Because obviously, to get everything else to go by the thoughts of Russia and things like China, which is the rest of the West, then not the West, but the whatever they're called, the communist side. Then
what you choose to believe, then that's entirely.
Well, you have a look at the documentary. I do not wish to talk about the.
I've looked at the Fabien Society, and I'm not. It's an unconvincing theory for me.
It's an unconvincing. Well, have a look. Have your eyes wide opened, and then you'll see, and you'll think, oh yeah.
But they're not like some. How can I put it? It's not that they are there dictating every single thing that happens within our government, like some sort of Bond villain.
No. We're having a long game of chess, mate. We're having a long game of chess.
I think that there is an argument about playing long game institutions, yes, and there is a point to that. But whether or not that actually was planned and then enacted and succeeded is an entirely different conversation.
I mean, you pointed out also they're in the 1930s, 1940s. They went down, didn't they? They didn't have so much influence. Or what do you expect? We were fighting the Germans then, so therefore they can't really put the red ball.
This was after the Second World War.
After the Second World War. What? That's when they fell down. That's when they started going down. All right, then. So we just won.
You then got Tory government. That's fine.
So we had a conservative, but they were proper conservatives. Yeah. So this is what I was saying then about a decent government. With Rupert Lowe at the helm or whatever. One that understands, one that's got his eyes open, that are able to, change the tide. Which it's due to do, isn't it? Just like it did do after World War II, same as you said. It's hard to change, so keep your fingers crossed about that. Don't lose all hope, guys. I've seen a lot of people losing hope in chat.
What I really think, though, that has come in recently is this idea of colonialism and victimhood. That's something that none of us will have heard that when we were growing up.
Yeah.
None of us. And that's come about in the last 10 years or so, and that's something that I think is worrying. The extent to which it's been taught in schools, I don't know, but the fact is that it's a popular narrative on social media, and that in itself is damaging enough.
Yeah, all during the Tony Blair and Gordon Brown era.
Yes.
Both, of course, members of?
Yes, they are. Yeah, they
Fabien.
are. I will agree, they are. But
exactly.
That still doesn't mean that every single decision that they make is
not yet. No, they do them bits at a time, one piece at a time. Tortoise.
Now let me put a question to you, Richard.
Oh God.
Do you think our government is very competent?
No.
Right. So if they're not competent in governance, what makes you think they're competent enough to come up with this master plan and enact it?
No, because they're going all in Fabien society goals, aren't they? Really, flood the country. Blame the white man for anything that goes wrong.
Well, in that case, then aren't they? They're doing well, aren't they?
No.
But by their principles.
Well, yeah, by their principles, but that's not, the will of the right leaning of the country. You know what I mean? The proper conservatives who voted conservative to stop the boats, but never did. Look at Bojo; he was conservative, and look where he did. The floodgates.
Why are we this?
EU.
Why are we here? What has led to us being here? And how can we lessen this influence?
By voting somebody indecent. How come we're all here? Well, back to my earlier thought, I was a sperm floating around in my dad's knackersack. Then I was here. It was dark and it was
one big problem, though, with your solution, Richard, which is about 50% of people don't bother to vote.
No, I know they don't. No, but that's who Rupert Lowe's actually reaching out to, isn't it? People who haven't voted in the past. And
how do you get to those people? How do you get to them?
Well, they've just got to keep pamphleting, haven't they? Keep the word out there. Keep telling people that there is.
I would say it's probably better to get amongst these people.
Yeah.
Knock on doors, set up things in the community.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's what they're doing, isn't it?
Make people know what you are.
It looks like it's probably going to be reform, but at least reform can be a stepping stone towards getting Rupert in a decent government. It might get a bit better with reforming, but I haven't really got my hopes upon that. I mean, didn't even Brexit properly, did we? And that were all Mr. Farage. So
Do you know what my problem is?
What?
I reckon there's something in me telling me it doesn't matter whether you get Farage in as Prime Minister, you get Rupert Lowe in as Prime Minister, you'll get Andy Burnham as Prime Minister. I just have a feeling that once they're there, they're going to be told accordingly, and whatever it is they say they're going to do, I don't think they're going to have the freedom to do it. I reckon there's going to be something that's going to prevent it, and no matter who the Prime Minister is, life will go in that direction. Don't matter who's there.
Yeah. It's like
who do you think of pulling the strings in Parliament to get that done?
That's what it is.
It could very well be those particular strings, or maybe they've got a gun to the head. Someone else has got kind of bribing them or got them.
Because Rupert Lowe would be like, I want to do this, and everyone's going to go, good for you, because we're voting against it. It's never going to happen. The powers that be spoken, mate. So you have literally promised the people this, and this, and you're going to look like Keir Starmer because you're going to have to U-turn on all of it.
Yeah, just like
otherwise, you might have a nasty accident in a car. Oh,
exactly.
Let's just pause.
He did as well. He did as well. His brakes failed on his car, and that plane crashed as well. That he were in, Nigel Farage.
Yeah, see, he just doesn't know when to stop.
Pause there, gentlemen. Let's pause there. So, Wiz, your point is that whoever comes in is going to be the same exact problems, they're not going to be able to make the changes. Unpause. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so what do you think we need to do then at that point in this chain?
Dissolve Parliament, down King Charles, and look, where's King Charles?
One at a time, chaps.
We need to, it's like saying, oh, it's this, it's that, Fabien site, whatever. We actually need to know what is going on behind the scenes in a realistic manner, not, oh, it's this and this person and all the Jews own all the banks or whatever. We actually need to know the truth. So what's going on behind the House of Commons?
Okay, so what does it mean you want to know? You want to know where they get their funding from, for example?
All of it. We as people should, in theory, have a right to know all that. So we need to know where the money's coming from, and is that money coming from said place on a condition that the person who's given it wants this narrative to happen in, like, net zero or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
So that would be accountability.
Look at £5 million dodgy donations towards Nigel Farage. What was that all about? There were also a dodgy donation of £1 million to Boris Johnson as well at some point. All dodgy donations coming in from places where, filtered through Bitcoin or something stupid. Yeah, it's all corrupt.
What Bing is saying here, this is what I think Wiz means as well. We need to know what is going on that's beyond the electoral system that we have. We've obviously got problems within our system, within the civil service. We know that. We can try and reform that. But if there are things that are happening that are external factors, like, for example, there could be Middle Eastern money coming in and funding something, then we need to know who that is. We need to know why that money is coming in, what use it's being put to, and what benefit it gives our country. Some of this we're not ever going to find about, because of course it's done under the table.
Yeah, you see, Rupert Lowe, all of his wages for being I think it's councillor or whatever, from working as an MP, all goes back into Great Yarmouth again. So I don't think Rupert Lowe is really motivated that much by money. He's motivated more about saving the country. Yeah, which
but that doesn't matter. That's what we're getting at. It doesn't matter.
That'd be a brilliant person, wouldn't it, to be in as president, as prime minister.
Yeah, but people get assassinated. If you think he's that good, he'll end up getting assassinated, because they'll be like, it's not happening. Like, we have a prime minister. Oh, the leader of the country. Is he? Really?
Yeah, but that's a very defeatist view to take, isn't it, Wiz? Whereas
I want to know.
This is happening.
I'm not being defeated. I'm just saying.
I want the army to dissolve Parliament or whatever. Then he'll do that rather than take money off somebody or a bribe.
But he'll be stopped. That's what I'm saying. He'll accidentally have an accident that could be fatal type scenario, because they don't want the boat to be capsized. Like, they have a trajectory. It's going on that trajectory, whether you like it or not. I'm holier than thou.
Hang on a second, because there's something important here. You're right, Wiz. We're on a certain trajectory. Now, we should have, in a fundamentally functioning democracy like we have, our vote should be able to affect that trajectory. But it isn't being allowed to do that. The vote doesn't really mean anything if you're just getting the same idea again and again, just under a different name. So there has to be some form of break with that system that we currently have, or there has to be someone who has got a know-how of the team who can come in and can sort of get the weeds out of the garden and get this country functioning in a much better way than it is now. And one of the simple things that they could do is just look at the waste of money.
Yeah. So if reform going in Wales, right, then they're going to take all the 20-mile-an-hour speed limit signs down. I was thinking this earlier on today. And you know what they'll do with them? They'll just throw them away. They'll just skip them. You know what I mean? Rather than save them for if ever another Labour government got in, which it probably would do, and then they'd have to have a brand new set of 20-mile-an-hour speed limit signs printed out. That kind of waste, and like £300 to change a light bulb in a chandelier in an hospital. You know, why not just have the chandelier be able to lower down so you haven't got to set up a load of scaffolding in order to change a bulb? You know, stuff
Someone
like that.
has rightly put Rupert Lowe is the man. Yes, I agree. Rupert Lowe is the man for the job, but in itself lies more problems because, firstly, you shouldn't put all of your faith into one person because if they go or something happens to them, then you're fucked. Also, it's not that you need Rupert Lowe. What you need is about 100 Rupert Lowes who will get going and doing the exact same thing he is doing. So you need more people like him rather than just one of them, because that's how you're going to make change. And change is going to take time. It's not going to happen overnight. And if it did happen overnight, it would be too dramatic and it would cause massive civil unrest.
Well, yeah, I agree. Yeah.
But like, say if I wanted to be in politics, right? Which I wouldn't mind because I'm quite a big gob. Do you know what I mean? And I know what would be good for this country, right? And I'm going to tell you what it is. And I bet you £1 million it will never happen because of people going, la-di-da, and it's not morally the right thing to do. And people are just going to kill you with. It's simple as that. So what I would do, and what my proposal would be, was to actually tell people that Islam would not be recognised in this country as a religion and all mosques will have to close. Halal out the window. Burgers done. Anything and everything to do with the now death cult, because it is not recognised as a religion, is done. Gone. Get rid. It is not a good thing. But will it ever happen? If I was alone and I said that, would it ever happen? No, because it's not the trajectory that people want.
Yeah, but you've been a bit too quick there by destroying all mosques. I think what you need to do is to ban halal slaughter. Ban halal slaughter, ban the call to prayer, ban things like that. So as the mosques automatically empty themselves and they go back to a Muslim country.
No, but they'll be closed. No, I'm saying, I'm not messing about. I'm not going to let's do this over the course of the next 28 years. So once my 4 years is over, the next person is able to reverse everything I've done.
Yeah, but if you close all the mosques, if you close all the mosques, what is not the age limit?
Riz is correct here. He's absolutely right. It's about the laws that have been locked in place. That's what you have to get rid of, because if you the way things are going, it's impossible to do anything because those barriers have been put there and they've been put there so that they last over time. And you have to get rid of them and make sure that they can't come back.
Yes, so you stop them from call to prayer. You stop because it is noise pollution. Church bells, they can't have that argument because you get used to church bells.
Right.
You use them going off every 15 minutes, so you just get used to that. I used to sleep in a room with a grandfather clock in it, and I just got used to it. It took me 2 days because it was every 15 minutes, so you automatically cut it off.
These are good ideas, and I agree with them. How are you going to enforce it? Now, you can enforce the closure of the mosques simply by having them locked, but how are you going to enforce things like someone's belief system?
Well, you get rid of people with that belief system by getting rid of what else they believe in, which is halal meat. You stop bowing to that. Yeah, I mean, Rupert Lowe did say this, but he said no halal slaughter on British soil. So basically, that means he's exporting it, is importing halal meat from.
Halal meat halal is a cultural practice, though. It's not a belief.
Yeah, well, don't care. We're bringing, I mean, look at RSPCA and PETA and stuff like that. We've fought for animal rights and stuff like that in the country, but everybody's just turning a blind eye to it now because minority want to kill animals in a terrible way.
You're missing the trick. We know that there are systems and barriers that are in place. The way to fix the system is to use those barriers against the people that are currently using them against us. For example, hate speech laws. They can use those laws to have the Quran defined as inciting racial hatred for what it says about Jews. That would be a way of inverting their own principles. You could argue that it creates hate speech, and therefore you could make ownership of it illegal. Anyone who has it could be fined or put in prison. That would be a more practical solution to go about it. It would also, I would categorically state, cause a massive riot and loads of people would get killed. So I wouldn't advise doing it. But that is one way in which you could start to fight. You have to use that legislation to help you. And then once you got it helping you, then you can change it.
Yeah, and like these vape shops and these Turkish barbers and stuff, a proper audit ought to be done on them. However, will the government actually do that proper audit? Because obviously there's a lot of tax coming in from them, isn't there? Through the laundered money. That's what it's all about tax evasion and stuff. So yeah, well, money evasion basically, but a proper audit on them. Any of them that are found to be doing things that are dodgy, then they get closed down. Therefore, those Turkish people will say, "Oh well, some this and we'll go back to Turkey." You know what I mean? But on their own on their own back. Volition. I think you got the word right there. Oh,
There's just been too many
Robert,
bad decisions.
Just say big thanks to Robert there for the super chat. I appreciate it, mate. And yes, vote people.
He's a good man, is Robert. Good American man.
He is. 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm saying
we need.
the mosques, Richard. I'm also saying everything that you said. I'm literally talking about all of it.
Yeah, but if you do that,
it will all happen within a week. I will say to them, right, next Monday, burqas are illegal. Next Tuesday, whatever. Next Wednesday, whatever. Next Thursday, mosques are closed. It's happening over a week.
You need to clear people out of the country slowly, don't you? You can't just have it happen in 1 week. You're just going to have a load of protests. You're just going to have protests on the streets, aren't you? If you do it
give a crap.
Right,
yeah, and if they want to, you're only talking about maybe a month where it might be a bit crap. But if you come out in the streets and say, "Oh no, but this and that," well, army with police, whatever, grab. See you later. What do you want? Aeroplane or a boat? You're gone.
Within this first week, you're already turning it into North Korea, mate. This is why I do not advise you to go for prime minister's job.
About Islam. We need to get rid of Islam. And if you start having things like that, then a lot more people will be willing to go into a job like the armed forces, because you're going to have a country worth fighting for. Because name how many people in this country who would not stand to arms in order to get rid of something like Islam from this country.
Yes,
we know how to get rid of it. We've already decided. Muslims to the moon.
Slower
than we direct funding.
Yeah,
all
funding. Don't mess about, because you know for a fact. Yeah, get them to the moon. Go and live on the big ball of cheese. But anything that takes time, and they're like, "Oh, we're doing this policy, and in the next 6 years, like we'll be out of Brexit." Well, you're only in term for bloody 4 years. As soon as you get voted out, it's going to be reversed. So you haven't got time to dick about trying to get rid of something like Islam, because it's that serious and it's that dangerous, and the Muslims are that dangerous. You've seen what Islamists do.
However, if you were doing a good job, and there wasn't turmoil on the streets, you'd get voted back in again. So then you'd be in for 8 years, wouldn't you? And I think closing down mosques
but that's not a guarantee.
Is a bit too quick, is what I'm saying. I think you're waiting at least a year.
No, the quicker the better. The better. I'm not packing about.
Well, yeah, but then you got an army on the street, and then you get a bad
because if I needed it, I'll be talking to Trump and I'll be saying, "I need some of your armed forces over here. I need help."
And what do you think you'd say?
Whether they like it or not.
You didn't help us out in Gaza. We couldn't even send jets away off your island.
It'd be different, because I'll be saying, like, doesn't matter what he needs. We as the British people will stand with America. So if America's doing something and it's not an illegal war, it's like, oh, they've got a nuclear weapon or going to have one, they're just going to drop it straight on Israel. Oh, then they're going to probably aim one towards London. Well, it's in our interest to get our army over there and stand with the United States. Why have we got an army? What, just to look after ourselves? No, we've got other countries, other nations that we are actually friendly with. So if they need us and we need them, happy days.
I would argue what might be better for Britain is, rather than re-establishing the EU, which we've seen is disastrous, that perhaps we might be better to go all in with the US instead and have a full-on partnership with them, where we can have trade deals like opening up factories and things like that, opening up North Sea oil, trading oil with the States.
Yeah, that's something else you need to look into, Wiz, if you were PM, is to, you know, maybe reopen the North Sea oil field. Stop all this.
But that goes without saying. You know for a fact, climate change, gone. Net zero, gone. None of that.
Yeah.
It's literally back to reality.
I'd go so far as to say, I'd go so far as to say that Britain, because it's virtually bankrupt, would probably be better off letting the US actually buy the country and have it turned into a US state. And it wouldn't be the first time that they'd bought land. They did it with the Louisiana Purchase. They bought Alaska. They've been looking at buying Greenland. So they bought land in Panama as well. So it's not something that they've never done before. And I think that could be a way that the country could be saved. And I think that if that happened, we would, of course, be able to maintain our traditions, because they are the ones that are the directly influenced America. Because the early settlers were English.
That's all right, though, while you've got this current, you know, government in America. Yeah. While you've got that current government in, but then if the Democrats get back in again, what's going to be the first country to get flooded with immigrants? Is going to, let's say, they buy Scotland, poor old Slim. You know what I mean? They're all going to be moving over there, but that's if left-hand government, well, if Democrat government get in. And of course,
it'd be more complicated than that, though, because they wouldn't have the same rights over, because they wouldn't be entering the European Union, they'd be entering the United States.
Yeah, that means you got Muslims with guns then.
Well, that probably means we can have guns as well. We can have guns on our borders.
Indeed, yeah. Yeah, that's if they decided to keep us being able to. Yeah, no, they probably just left government.
I'm saying that this is something that's possible.
Yeah.
Because we don't want more of the same, because it's just, we all can see that it's been 30 odd years of a social experiment that catastrophically failed. And the people who ran that experiment know that it's failed, and are doing everything they can to try and hold the lights of power that they've got. What we should be thinking about is where it's going to go next, and what sort of people lead us forward, and make sure it sort of never happens again. Because I think in 100 years' time, people are going to look back on this era as being exactly like it was with the Nazis and the communists. The difference is that they managed to take over this time without any bloodshed. And that is what Michael was alluding to at the beginning. Yeah. He was making a much stronger claim, directly linking it to Fabianism, whereas I'm saying that it is more of a general thing that's happened.
Yeah, but if an Islamist government did go into UK, then there wouldn't be no bloodshed for a while. You know what I mean? While you know, looking at your gays and everything, they're basically all left. Just like they did do in 1979 in Iran. You know, you've only got to look at history. But of course, they're not taught that kind of history because of Fabien bloody school teachers. They're not taught that.
I don't think it's possible for them to have a takeover of the government.
Well, I don't think no Muslims are being the government. Like I say, I mean, you know, I was saying like, I'll do like Monday this, Tuesday that. I'll probably do it like January this, February that, March that,
look at that,
April that, and they get each bit. But while that's happening, as of the get-go, once it'd be like, right, it's not classed as a religion in here, we don't recognise it, blah blah blah. But no person who classes themselves as a Muslim or Muslimah will be allowed anywhere near British politics, and if they are currently standing, that seat will be up for a vote within the next couple of months, because they have to step away unless they become Christian.
You can do that lawfully as well by re-invoking the 1689 Civil Rights Act. No foreign person or prolate should be allowed to stand in government. You could do that legally. You just have to bring that law back in.
They're great ideas, but you've forgotten that there is about 48% of this country that have completely the opposite ideas to the ones that we have. What are we going to do about them?
I think that's only 48% of
voters.
Not 40,
Switzerland's have banned the burqa in Islam.
I think you can only really go on 48% of the people that vote in the UK, not that you're ignoring the 70% or whatever, however many, who don't vote in the UK, who would have that voice if they were pushed to have that voice in order to bring back, 1689 Civilian Rights Act thing. Because otherwise, are you going to get those numbers of 42% or whatever it was? If you're not just going on the voting public.
I think, like I say, we've got to remember that people here are largely going to be in agreement with what we're saying. But about half the country doesn't agree with what we're saying.
The thing is, it's got to be realistic as well, hasn't it? Because, what people are like and that, it needs to be brought up properly and that. But it's like Switzerland have done it. Austria, I believe, have done something. Hungary have banned all illegals coming in full stop. Poland, minimum, only 2%. And Germany's got 5%. Germany's got nearly double or triple the crimes, shall we say, as Poland. So we know what the problem is.
What happened yesterday? Merkel got given an award for her services to the European Union.
No way. See, that's how screwed up it is.
Yes way, Wiz. Yes way.
Both Keir Starmer and Sadiq Khan have both got knighthoods, haven't they?
Yeah, so I'll be looking at getting them revoked.
Yeah. Right. I'll get my vote, Wiz. Yeah. Go on then, run for mayor of Poland. I mean, Pompey. Go on, run for mayor of, where is it? Portsmouth or Plymouth you are? I don't know.
Portsmouth.
There you go.
But
I go back gardening because I can I'll put a tent up back garden and come and see you for a day. I'm not driving 400 miles to have you say, right, okay, then you've had your coffee, piss off now. I'm not doing that. I'm coming around for night. We can have a live chat in your office.
Yeah, why not?
I'm serious.
What? But I was going to say something. Yeah, Trigger Christian, the Quran does confirm the Bible, but the Bible's corrupt. Oh yes, the Islamic dilemma. Yes, that's probably the best thing ever. Like Chris of Speaker's Corner has written a book. It's now available on Amazon, so go and check it out. But it'll have to be, like realistically, let's be sensible. It have to be good, proper.
A book, you say, is a
book.
Well, funnily enough, I've been writing my book today, and it will be available when it's finished.
Yeah, well, it's not going to be available when it's not finished, is it? Let's be honest.
Exactly.
But I'm writing a book. Yeah. Who's able to get Christmas cards on my Christmas card list, and not you two? Neither on you.
I don't do Christmas cards.
Well, I wrote my book months ago, and I've done absolutely nothing with it. So there you go. Jealous.
We ought to make it audio book. You and your Gert should do voiceovers for it. Breathe in some helium whenever you're talking like a dragon or something. Breathe in some helium so we can have a laugh at you.
It would be banned, Hazy. It's not a recognised religion in this country if I was in charge. So anything like that will be deemed like arrestable and they get banged up for it. So we're like,
in an ideal world,
months, or you bugger off to a different country. Sorry.
It's brilliant in an ideal world, but it would be very difficult to actually enforce though in the real world.
Yeah. I think that were a law after the 1689.
I'm hoping people will be phoning the police straight away, going, "There's a bloke in the street praying," and then we'll be like, the police turn up.
Freedom to
practice.
He's
got a very Islamic book about him. I think I heard some Arabic, but I can't be sure.
It would correspond with the laws of not being able to, freely express and celebrate your religion. I think you're going to run into problems if you were to.
We're getting rid of that law.
Can't just say tough shit because then you're going to have a bunch of lefties, aren't you, trying to assassinate you or something?
No, but it is a serious point though, because it does. If it comes down to a belief system, then if you're in a truly liberal democracy, you cannot say some value systems are better than others. You can't outlaw belief systems effectively.
No,
you are
you
right.
You can move the belief system out of your country by targeting halal and stuff like that. You know, targeting stuff like that. Same as I say. You know,
there's always a way to deal with a parasite.
Yes, indeed. Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Call rent a.
I mean, do you not find it a bit strange how Tony Blair banned, death, being able to be executed if you commit treason, the treason laws? Do you think that was a bit?
I've seen this mentioned, but did he actually do that? And did he actually specifically do it because of what the offence was, or was there another reason why he did it?
Well,
I don't.
If he hadn't got rid of that, right, then Keir Starmer would be hanging from a crane by.
Only if he got caught.
Was that he removed the death penalty for treason?
Yeah, something to do with treason.
Let's have a look. Let's have a look.
And all of this stuff, as Lisa Harvey has rightly just said, it's really since the turn of the millennium that things happened. Ever since it got to the 21st century, it's been shit.
The death penalty for treason in the United Kingdom was abolished in 1998 before any actions taken by Tony Blair would have affected this law. Tony Blair served as Prime Minister from 97 to 07. By the time the Crime and Disorder Act 1988 came into force, the death penalty for treason was already abolished and the legislation formalised life imprisonment as a maximum penalty.
So did he abolish it?
Then? Who abolished that?
It says there's no credible evidence that Tony Blair personally removed the death penalty for treason, and claims suggesting otherwise are not supported by legal or historical records.
You're using what's name, aren't you? You're using that search that you get with Windows. Copilot.
Yeah.
You may as well be reading Wikipedia, mate. You may as well be reading Wikipedia written by a leftist. You may as well be, because try a proper search.
There's nothing wrong with Copilot. It's one of the better ones. I've got Grok as well.
Oh my God. Really? Okay.
The only problem with it was you ask it about Islam, it got enough pennies about. It wouldn't give me the list of George Floyd's crimes.
There you go.
And then I said, you're useless. What's the point if you're not giving me the information I asked for? I want George Floyd's crimes in a list, and then it gave it to me.
Yeah, you're right. It does. You have to really push hard on AI to get it to say controversial things, because it will lie and hide things. Well, there was a bit of a lively one today, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was.
Yeah, so I've got this one, right? The law on treason was altered in 1998 by the UK government led by Prime Minister Tony Blair.
I've got this one. The death penalty for treason in the United Kingdom was formally abolished by the Parliament through the Crime and Disorder Act 1988 under the government of Prime Minister Tony Blair.
Exactly. So
how weird's that?
Yeah. See?
There we go.
Copilot's rubbish. It's written by Bill Gates. He's the same guy.
That is Copilot. That is Copilot.
You that out, though, find out why he did it. Because it's all very well and good he's abolished it, but why?
Because the death penalty for treason in the UK was formally abolished by the House of Lords through legislation originally introduced by Lord Beef, replacing it with life imprisonment.
So they wanted to do it to have imprisonment instead of hanging.
Yeah, and it's actually introduced by Lord Beef, Beith, whoever he is.
Does it say anywhere in there that Tony Blair did it so that Keir Starmer and Tony Blair will then get hanged in the future?
Just look at the bigger picture.
In there.
Exactly. So look at the bigger picture, mate. Why did he do that? Why do you think he did that? I know that's just like conspiracy theorist, but you know, if it looks like a duck,
Richard, it's the opposite of conspiracy theory. It's the very opposite of conspiracy theory, because it's asking you to consider why he's made that decision, rather than just saying, yeah, Tony Blair got rid of it because he didn't want people to get hanged for being treasonous to the government, when he did it. Maybe he did do it for that reason, but I'm just asking if it actually says that, because that was the implication. Should we bring it back? Fuck yes.
Yes. And for people who diddle kids and all that lot needs bringing back. You know what I mean? Death penalty, yeah, bring it back. I mean, we're enough to pay out for. I'm going
to be lenient here. I'm going to say, for people who are nonces, rather than outright death, they get taken into a public square, castrated in front of everyone. And if they survive, then they get on with their life. If they die, who cares?
Whatever.
Then it's up to the Lord and to luck then.
And cheeky kids should be put in stock so they can throw vegetables at them for a full day.
Yeah.
Like it used to be. So they're not cheeky anymore.
They absolutely should, yeah.
Yeah, rotten eggs. Yeah, little buggers.
In schools.
Ah, right. I'm actually on Parliament website, and it actually says Tony Blair amended the treason laws so no government officials can face criminal charges for treasonous acts. This has led to a free run for officials to commit treason against England and the citizens. This now needs to be reversed to bring trust back to the people.
What's that on the Parliament website?
Now, that's
no, they put it through. They actually put it through, for to be amended, and it was rejected. So Tony Blair's amendment stands.
So now, Wiz, can you see why I was asking Michael the question? Because I just asked Richard that question. We've looked at the evidence. We've found the evidence does actually indicate that possibly he could see into the future and wanted to save Keir Starmer's life. Therefore, we can say that that claim holds up, and that is quite clear.
Yep.
That's why I said to Michael, how do we know this? Why do we know this? Who are these people? You've got to establish certain things when you're making a claim.
Same way that I just put it all together there by looking at the bigger picture. Yeah. And then
that's crazy.
The Fabien Society aren't going to say, right, this is what we're going to do. There you go. Right. They're going to use slight little things.
They have to have a plan of what they're going to do. Otherwise, no one.
Yeah, they have. Yeah, a big global plan. They've got that. And all you've got to do is just look at it and then fill the jigsaw puzzle things in, and then think, oh yeah, you know what I mean? Then you'll just get this strange.
If you're saying that the aim is to destroy society, then that's such a broad claim. You could say anything could fit in with that one. But here, what you can't do is you can't say that when Tony Blair changed that law, it was as a direct result of Fabien policy, because there's evidence to support that.
Well, obviously, they don't want the MPs getting that they've appointed. They don't want them. I know that's supposed to be the voter who brings in the government, but they've been indoctrinated by the Fabien Society, because just look at the membership list. You know what I mean? And also the thing that I'm going to post after the stream, that link. If you look at that, then you'll get it. You know what I mean? You'll have your eyes more open to it, and then every time they bring in one of these little steps, your eyes being open to it will make you be able to sniff out what they're doing. Yeah, I know it seems like, but if it did actually happen, then it's going to be too late, because then you'll just think, oh well, I wish I'd mentioned this before. Right, before it became.
Human beings rely on pattern building. I think that it fits a pattern building narrative more than it fits an actual real life reality.
Yeah, well, I'm good at that. I'm one of them ADH.
There you go. Then it's what we all do. We all think of patterns. If there's something behind it, there'll be a group of people that sit there and plan everything, and that's not how things work.
But the disease that's going around America at the moment, right, is brought on by ticks, yeah? And they've been spotted dropping these chuffing boxes with ticks full of ticks.
Well,
Yeah,
Rich,
you know who's behind that?
About
Apparently, that
I've
is
been reading about that.
Yeah, I watched one yesterday about it. I thought, wow,
I was
no way.
reading a thing yesterday. It was about the CIA creating super mosquitoes that they infected with various diseases, dropped them on black towns in the south of America.
Yeah, both out the other mosquitoes, but whoever's behind that, which is supposed to be Mr. Gates, right? Whoever's behind that can put anything in them mosquitoes, genetically modify them to be able to send around this disease that causes people not to be able to eat red meat. Yeah, because he's got what? A burger factory, hasn't he? Where he prints 3D prints bloody burgers and stuff. So maybe
again, we're drifting away from claim and evidence.
Well, you know, it's just the beginning of a pattern. It's the corner piece of a jigsaw puzzle.
Yeah, but what I think you're doing, though, that's a good analogy. Yes, it is. But what I think you're doing is you're trying to fit together pieces from different jigsaws.
Well, you see, I'm going very much down the 51st dates route here, right? It's a conspiracy, all-you-can-eat buffet, right? But I know where it's coming from. I've seen one who I kind of trust, one YouTuber, and he brought it to me, and I thought, yeah, you know, I'm still on the BS scale at the moment. Yeah, so I'm registering it as BS, but the corner piece has been placed into the jigsaw puzzle. So I'll be looking out for more stuff like that and see what's going off without falling too much down a conspiracy rabbit hole, because I don't like them.
You know, I think that most of it is a load of bollocks. If, like I said earlier, if you switch off the internet and just read a nice fiction book, read a bit of history, go for a walk, something like that, none of these things matter. They don't exist.
I went to the
they only exist when you're looking at them.
I went to the car boot sale today, and I did see myself jump when the Sikh man would come out right in front of me. I looked straight down at his belt light, see if he had one of them chuffing curb hands.
No, but you say that. When I went to Tesco on Friday, and I saw a woman in there with a headscarf on, and I turned and looked, what the fuck is she doing here? This is the first time I've ever seen one.
In the middle of the countryside with you?
Yeah.
Wow. They'll have a mosque up next, mate.
I was shocked.
Yeah. There you go. You see, it makes you jump, doesn't it?
Yes. It was very disappointing.
Yeah, and he had one of them he had a blue turbine on and all, like what that what's his name did? What were his name? I got a good nickname for him. What was his name? Dickwad, yeah.
Yeah, Robert, Henry's Law changed for better police training, medical and first aid response. Do you know what? You'd actually be praying to God that they got that in the first place. Do you know what I mean? Being a police officer. The fact that we need that is quite worrying, don't you think? But yeah, you're right. They should have something like Henry's Law.
But the entire 999 call that's been released, the whole version of it.
Yeah, I think Paul Thorpe did one on it last night. Paul Thorpe did one on it last night, Wiz.
They spend about 10 minutes talking before they even get to what state Henry is in.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's full of lie after lie after lie. It made me so angry listening to that.
Yeah. Yeah, bless him.
That's nuts.
I mean, yeah, and no dirt's been thrown up on him, has it? You know what I mean? Unlike that that black guy, BLM one. What was his name? I can't remember. Yeah, unlike him.
Floyd.
George
Floyd. Yeah. Unlike him, as soon as all BLM protests started up, you know, it was coming out all this dirt on him and stuff. You know, about how he's drug taker and stuff like that. You know,
some good comes from this tragedy because it's awful, and if it does mean that the police get reformed and that does help to improve things, then that's the best that can possibly come out of this.
Yeah. Need to be treated fairly, don't we? Really, you know what I mean? That's what all the protests about. Yeah, everybody's calling Tommy Robinson and Nigel Farage racist, but it's got nothing to do with that. You know what I mean? It's not really anything to do with the way that Henry were killed. It's to do with the police response, the emergency service response, because they've all been corrupted by DEI. Simples, you know what I mean? Yeah.
And I think as well, we said during the actual scuffle as it happened. It's not the fault of the police. You shouldn't be attacking them. They're doing what they've been ordered to do. Yes, they have the right to say, no, I'm not going to do it. But if you've got a family to look after and a mortgage to pay, you're not going to do that. You could, even no matter how much you object to it, they were doing what they'd been told to do, and they were following the information.
By the ones of the police authority.
The information that they were given was a lie.
Yeah, yeah. All this DEI training and shit like that, you know, that we didn't use around back in the 80s. Yeah, everybody, you know, survived, didn't they? You know, there weren't that many.
Dickwad killed him by stalking him, and then killed him again through his brother lying on the phone and through the family holding him down. That would have probably opened up the wound. And then when the police eventually arrived and dragged him across and then flipped him over, they probably opened up the wound again and prevented anything from actually happening. Yeah. Now, whether or not he could have survived, I don't know. But if they had got him immediately, his chances of survival would have been considerably higher.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we're punctured lung as well. You know, you can imagine it. I mean, he got found with 2 pints of blood in his lungs. You know, so if you're laid down, you're going to fill at least one lung up, aren't you, with just blood? So he's going to be choking on his own blood. Honestly,
Pansie's right there, because one year at school we had to do first aid training. The head teacher said he thought it was a good idea for all of the staff to do first aid training. It's the only good idea I've ever heard a headmaster ever say, and it was worth doing. And I have had to use it in the past, twice in fact. And I found that on both occasions that I just instinctively knew what to do because the training had been good.
Yeah, yeah. And the best idea would be keep him up, you know, and give him the most amount of lung space he could possibly get by settling his blood down in his lungs. You know, at least he's got the top part of his lungs, which is able to oxygenate his blood. You know what I mean? Laying him down, that's just going to drown one lung. It's going to be gone. You know. So yeah, I mean, yeah, and then of course you cover the wound up as well. You know, with a plastic credit card. If ever you've got someone, especially if they've got air bubbles coming out of the wound, cover it up with a credit card and then bandage that up. Yeah, because I did a bit of first aid. Yeah, I can remember that in St. John's. Yeah, yeah.
And wrap cling film around a burn. That's a good one. Wrap cling film around a burn.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Keep the moisture in. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, there we go, geez. So 2 hours, 12 minutes. We done well there. That was a good old. I thought it was all going to blow up in the first half hour, but nonetheless.
Me too. I don't know what his problem was.
I think we've covered most topics on, you know, what the problem is in the UK. I think we've skirted along most of that stuff. Yeah, without going too much down the black hole of, you know, what does DEI mean and where is it mentioned in the Fabien Society? Because it's just, at the moment, just a uncompleted jigsaw puzzle, which of course it's supposed to be, because slowly catch a tortoise.
Yeah, I've got a video now about this.
It's a really good analogy that you used about. The only reason I mentioned it because I did use this image in my book this morning, which is why I haven't thought of it. But it's like, yes, doing a jigsaw puzzle, but doing them from different puzzles and trying to get them to fit into one, and seeing that it works in some ways and some ways it doesn't. I think
well, you've always got to be open to that piece that doesn't fit. You know, and then keep your mind open for that, and then wait for more evidence to fall into place. Yeah. You know, that's how I work it out anyway. You know, kind of like that. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, but I still don't believe in Roswell. No, not what was that one that you believe in? That
Rendlesham.
Rendlesham, yeah, bullet.
I don't believe
because there's one jigsaw puzzle that you just will never get to fit because they didn't have the Rosetta Stone for the binary code that he apparently could put a load of zeros and ones on.
Well, you need a Rosetta Stone. To see what my conclusion is about.
Oh God, okay.
I don't. There's no extraterrestrials. No, I don't believe in that side of it.
Okay. Yeah. Right.
No, I haven't, mate. Mr. Waffle. I was hoping, like what Richard just said there, I was hoping to get the whole thing. What's today? Sunday. Maybe we could Tuesday evening. I think I'm live next, so maybe Tuesday evening we'll do it on that. We can all discuss that and listen to the whole thing. But I need to try and find the whole phone call. Do you know where that is, Jake?
Yeah, I saw it on his channel's called Crime Scene to Courtroom.
Oh, is it?
So crime, and then the number 2 courtroom. And he's really good at when it comes to trials and things like that, because he goes directly to the evidence all the time.
So, but is there nowhere where that just the phone call is up on its own that we could use, or is it in other people's?
He did one yesterday that literally was just based on the phone call, and then he's got another thing.
But he didn't stop it; it literally just plays all the way through.
Yes.
Oh, cool.
He talks a bit at the beginning, and then he talks afterwards. So that's
Crime
to courtroom.
So I'm going to call
after
I'll write it in the chat.
Or post it. Just put it on your clipboard, and then when Wizard's done, then copy and paste it, and just say, "Hello, it's me. It's this."
Yeah, I've put it in the chat.
We're probably
I'll do it for you.
Oh yeah. We're
probably. Haven't you got a link to the phone call though?
No, because
that's right. I'll bring it up because I'll put the link to that in the description, and I'll set that up for the Tuesday 7 p.m. stream when Jake and I shall discuss and dissect.
I'll look for some other stuff as well for you.
Yeah. So that's what we'll look at, the 999 call in full.
Oh.
So
this is the Henry Novak phone call you're talking about?
Yes.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Got you. Okay. Yeah. I thought it was the Rendlesham Forest one. I don't know why.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
There are definitely videos that just have the audio on it, if that's what you want.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah. Paul Pop's always said I could use any of his content. So,
yeah.
But normally I like to just find someone who's just posted it and that's it. There's no words, nothing. You just press play and it's the call. But
I think this guy, he talks at the beginning and he talks again at the end, as far as I can remember.
Yeah, so that'd be all right, because then we can listen. Maybe we can still listen to what he says about it as well, and I'll give a shout out for his channel accordingly. So that might work out well. But yeah, so that's what we're doing Tuesday night, ladies and gents. We're going to get the whole phone call, and then we can all discuss it. That's a good one. I mean, yeah, that'd probably just stem off to other little bits and bobs about the whole Henry Novak case, won't it? So I think that'd do for Tuesday night. Happy days.
Right.
Yeah.
Ladies and gents.
I'll see you all later. Ta-da. I'm going to throw myself out.
See you, Richard.
All right, mate. Guys. Cheers, Rich. Cheers, Rich.
Cool. Bye.
Thank you.
See you later, mate.
Thanks to all in the chat as well. Thanks for your comments, except for that prick earlier. He pissed me off. But from that person, everyone else, good to see you. And thanks for everything. Thanks to you as well, Wiz. And if I find anything interesting as well, I'll send it before Tuesday, as usually I do. Peace.
Brilliant. Take it easy, mate. Thank you very much. Happy days. There you go, ladies and gents. It was nice to have Richard back, wasn't it, eh? Richard's back again. I can't say that because Slim's in the chat. That's his song. Slim Shady. But yeah, that was good. That was good. That was going this way, that way, everywhere. Woo! So yeah, happy days, ladies and gents. So take it easy, live the dream, like you say. Let's quickly. It was OG Purple Slug for the membership today. Robert Johnson with the super chat. Thank you very much, mate. Appreciate it as always. The Trigger Christian, appreciate it. Thank you very much, sir. And it's Robert again. Happy days. Oh, of course it was. Yeah. Thank you very much for the support. I love you all. We'll be back Tuesday night, and we will be going through the Henry Novak telephone call to the police, and we can all discuss that and say what we think and have your view, your opinion. It'd be very, very interesting. So take it easy, stay safe, enjoy what's left of your lovely sort of sunny Sunday. Keep an eye out. I will be uploading another video. I'm planning on a video with what is destroying the UK. with regards to Keir Starmer, you're wrong. So yeah, happy days. Take it easy. Love you all. And like I say at the end of every single video, that is the wizard's words.